Hysteria2909 back for another episode of Reading the Wrong Way. Sorry this video is late, but for once I have a good reason. This time I'll be reviewing the Infernal Devices series, the graphic novel adaptation by Cassandra Clare with art by Hugh Kung-baek. I had ordered all of these through my library and was waiting on the third volume before doing my review, and I'm glad I waited so I can give you a more accurate review. There are 3 volumes to this series, titled Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess. As stated, this is a graphic novel adaptation of a novel series by the same names. Unlike Cirque du Freak and Daniel X, I haven't read the novel counterpart, so my review is based strictly on what the graphic novels contain. The series is rated T for teens. I'm not so sure if I agree with that rating. I would almost bump it up to a T+ or 16+. My reasoning concerns a few things. For starters, the violence. Everyone should be used to seeing some violence in most T-rated manga. I think the violence in this series, however, justifies a higher rating, as there are several instances of beheadings along with other more mild fight scenes. I would also give it a higher rating because there are 2 passionate love scenes, only one of which I would consider an actual sex scene. I won't show it to avoid spoilers, but it is fairly mild, and there is only one panel where the 2 characters are shown completely naked, but their private parts are covered with very well-placed arms. If you're a parent looking into this series, or one with a weak constitution for graphic violence, this may be a concern for you. Tessa Gray is an orphan teenager who travels to London in search of her brother Nathaniel. Her search plunges her into a world she never knew existed, and discovers that she is a changeling with the ability to change into anyone as long as she is in possession of an item that was theirs. She is eventually taken in by the London Institute's shadow hunters, humans born with angelic blood. They view themselves as peacekeepers between demons of the shadow world and regular humans called mundane. As Tessa is taken in, she finds herself attracted to the 2 male shadow hunters that rescue her from a horrific fate, William Herondale and James Carstairs. As she faces her affections for the 2 of them, dark forces that seek to selfishly use Tessa's unique abilities begin to surround the Institute and endanger her newfound family. So what do you need to know about the series? I must repeat, I have no idea how the actual novels this adaptation is based on are written. That being said, it took me a while to fully understand what was going on in the first volume. The beginning seemed to plop the reader into the middle of an already ongoing story with barely any explanation. I did, however, begin to understand things by the end of the first volume, and much more clearly in the following 2. I also feel as though the conflict with the villain, which does begin in Volume 1, was very rushed when it concludes in the final volume. Speaking of rushed, without giving away too many details, the relationship aspect of the novels, while growing throughout the 3 volumes, is concluded a little too fast for my taste within the last 10 pages of the volume. If you read it, you'll understand that many years have passed, but to me as a reader, I had trouble getting past that it all happened in 10 pages. All of the characters are very likable, and I can honestly say I didn't foresee many of the twists the author threw at me. Even if I did predict them, I wasn't entirely sure the author would go through with them. Tessa can be seen as fairly strong-willed and intelligent for her age. The Institute's leader, Charlotte Branwell, is an excellent role model for young women. At 23 years old, she runs the entire Institute and tries to prove that she can handle the pressure as well as any man could. The 2 male leads appear to be your typical bad boy versus gentleman at first, but I promise you that if that isn't your fancy, they do both develop far beyond those stereotypes as the series progresses. I must admit, I tire of those classic love triangles, but this one kept me wanting to read more thanks to the personal relationship the 2 men share with each other, as well as their love for Tessa. I would consider the artwork predominantly shoujo. The characters' eyes are always very expressive, and their hair is always very detailed, with numerous strands showing. As mentioned prior, there is violence, and I don't think the author shies away from the details. There are also numerous scenes where characters take on deformed expressions, and you can very clearly tell who each character is. Similar to most graphic novel adaptations, there aren't any extras to speak of. Each volume does contain a few full-color pages in the front, but that's about it. This series reads in the Western format of left to right, and when you're reading, you always want to read whichever speech bubble appears highest on the panel first. I also want to mention that this is a prequel to Cassandra Clare's Mortal Instruments series. There isn't an adaptation for that series yet, however. The author has noted that the series can be read in any order if you choose to explore the novels instead. So that's it for Infernal Devices. I'm glad that I waited on the 3rd volume so that I could give you a much more accurate review. So hopefully I'll see you next time, on time for once.
When I was given freedom, all I did was flee. When I turned back, there was nothing touch your toes before I could open my